the embrace of two dictators. The leaders of North Korea and Russia have reached a new level. A military parade, people in identical clothing, in the style of the USSR. Putin's favorite.
I don't know another country like this where a person breathes so freely. You're right indeed, this very melody is now playing here, Malmberg, at Tiananmen Square.
And finally, a comprehensive and binding strategic partnership agreement that includes mutual obligations to provide immediate military assistance in the event that one of them is attacked between the parties. All of this could be considered a victory for the bunker president if, not for one, but the new agreements between Putin and Kim Jong Un have awakened South Korea.
We plan to reconsider the issue of providing weapons to Ukraine. Specific measures will be disclosed later, and it will be interesting to see how Russia reacts, rather than revealing our plans in advance.
And South Korea has plenty to surprise with. It is the seventh most powerful military force in the world, and its weaponry is among the best in the world. Korea's arsenal includes modern self-propelled artillery systems, tanks, and aircraft. Moreover, this country is one of the largest producers of 155mm caliber shells. But most importantly, this equipment and ammunition are of high quality, unlike those of Russia and North Korea.
As for the supply of lethal weapons to the combat zone in Ukraine, that would be a very big mistake. I hope that this does not happen. If it does happen, then we will also make corresponding decisions which the current leadership of South Korea is unlikely to like.
Well, to quote Putin himself, like it or not, endure it, my beauty. What kind of weapons will the occupiers have to endure and suffer from? Watch in just a moment. South Korea indeed has a huge arsenal of weapons. There is both Soviet equipment and completely new technology. The first weapon that comes to mind is the K2 Black Panther tank, a highly advanced and effective, or one of the best modern tanks adopted in 2014. European countries have already set their sights on it. A few years ago, Poland even managed to place a large order for this heavy equipment, 180 units. It is much lighter than its Western counterparts, weighing only 55 tons. For example, the American Abrams weighs 67. At the same time, its armor can withstand a shot from a 120mm gun with a barrel length of 55 calibers. Why wait to intercept when you can prevent it? For this purpose, a radar system was installed on the tank to detect threats. The tank's mobility is also beyond praise. And while tanks are good, Ukraine is currently more concerned with airspace defense. But here too, South Korea has something new, the KF-21 aircraft. And although it was initially said to be a fifth-generation aircraft, the Koreans are not fixated on that. The main thing is quality. And this is how the approaches differ significantly from Russia and their Su-57 aircraft. The latter claim to have a fifth-generation fighter, but in reality, they are afraid to use it. Whereas the Koreans simply focus on doing their work with quality. The history of this aircraft was not easy. Its development was announced back in 2001. At that time, it had a different name, KF-X. Over time, Indonesia also joined the development. However, it was only able to take to the skies in July 2023, a long-term project. But that doesn't prevent it from becoming one of the best. The development was not forgotten all these years, but the biggest boost for the fighter came after receiving technologies from the USA. that are used in the production of the F-35. Thus, the developer company, the Korean Defense Acquisition Program Administration, and the American company that makes the F-35, along with the Indonesian Ministry of Defense and Aerospace Agency, agreed to restart their relations on this matter. The USA transferred 21 F-35 technologies. Indonesia provided $1.4 billion and Korea $7.1 billion. The work began to heat up. 3 years later, the plane was seen for the first time, or more precisely, not the actual aircraft, but a full-scale model. However, the planned fifth-generation fighter did not materialize. At the very least, the engines chosen for this fighter cannot provide supersonic mode without using afterburners. Also, the KF-21 did not have internal weapon bays, which is also a distinctive feature of a fifth-generation fighter. As a result, the Koreans were only able to make a 4++ generation fighter, but they are not trying to prove otherwise to the world. The developer company does not even raise the question of the KF-21's belonging to the fifth generation. And even though they didn't manage to achieve what they initially planned, the Koreans deserve respect at least for not abandoning their project. And the aircraft actually turned out to be good. The fighter has a maximum speed of up to 2,200 kilometers per hour, with a wingspan of 11.2 meters. The maximum takeoff weight reaches up to 25,580 kilograms. Thus, the Korean aircraft is 10 tons lighter than the Russian Su-35 and 5 tons lighter than the American F-35A. The combat radius of the Korean aircraft is 1,000 kilometers. The armament used by the KF-21 is also important. The fighter can be equipped with either the American AMRAAM or the long-range Meteor with a strike radius of 200 kilometers. You can't take words out of a song. The history of this aircraft is very long. Moreover, it is not yet finished. But Seoul's persistence allowed the KF-21 to enter serial production. This happened just a few days ago. The developers assure that they will be able to make 20 aircraft and start delivering them to the Air Force as early as 2026. At the same time, they do not hide that the officially declared readiness level is currently at 80%. They plan to complete it in the same year, 2026. But in the case of South Korea, there are no doubts about whether they will make it on time. And after Seoul's statement that they will reconsider the issue of providing weapons to Ukraine, the developers might even try to test these fighters on our front. For any quality weapon, this will only increase the chances of future purchases. There are already such cases. Moreover, it's easier to refine it precisely in combat conditions. And as for the fact that Ukrainian defenders will be able to master the Korean equipment in a short time, there is no doubt about that. And when that happens, we will definitely tell you about it and show you. So like this video and write in the comments if you would like to hear about experimental weapons that are already destroying the occupiers. Also, be sure to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss new episodes of Arsenal.